President Trump announced on Sunday the imposition of retaliatory tariffs on Colombia following President Gustavo Petro's decision to block U.S. military deportation flights from landing. This marks the first instance of Trump leveraging economic pressure to advance his immigration policies since beginning his second term. In response, President Petro ordered a 25% increase in tariffs on U.S. imports, describing it as reciprocal action. "You impose a 50% tariff on our labor's fruits. I'll do the same," Petro stated in a social media post aimed at Trump. President Trump reacted to Petro's decision to bar 2 U.S. military flights carrying deported migrants from entering Colombia, calling for improved protocols in the U.S. handling of migrants. While rejecting military deportation flights, Petro left open the possibility of receiving migrants via civilian aircraft. President Trump unveiled a series of measures targeting Colombia, including an immediate 25% tariff on Colombian imports, set to rise to 50% in a week. Additional sanctions included a travel ban for Colombian citizens, visa revocations for Colombian officials and their allies, and further restrictions. On Truth Social, President Trump defended these measures, stating, "We will not allow Colombia to violate its obligations in accepting repatriated criminals." Petro dismissed Trump's sanctions, criticizing his policies and suggesting Trump perceives Colombians as inferior. He also highlighted his commitment to human freedom and rejected forced deportations on military flights. The U.S. Embassy in Bogotá responded by suspending visa processing for Colombian citizens, a rare move typically reserved for adversarial nations or those involved in human rights abuses. The State Department announced additional travel sanctions targeting officials responsible for obstructing U.S. repatriation operations. U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, expressed frustration over the incident, claiming Colombia initially approved the deportation flights but revoked authorization mid-flight. Rubio emphasized the U.S. commitment to border security and criticized Petro's actions. Petro, however, denied granting authorization and insisted he would not allow deportees to be transported in handcuffs. Colombia's rejection of deportation flights has triggered a broader diplomatic rift, with economic and political consequences. Brazil joined the criticism, denouncing the treatment of its deported nationals on U.S. flights. Brazilian authorities cited poor conditions aboard the aircraft and human rights concerns as reasons for blocking a flight carrying deportees. The U.S. continues to use military planes to deport migrants, a move the White House has described as a deterrent to illegal immigration. Border Czar Tom Homan affirmed that deportation flights would remain a daily operation to signal the U.S. firm stance on border security. Colombia is not a major U.S. trading partner, with exports to the U.S. valued at approximately $14 billion in 2023, mainly consisting of minerals, oil, metals, and coffee. However, new tariffs on Colombian goods could significantly impact industries like coffee and flower farming, affecting hundreds of thousands of families. Economic analysts and think tanks have urged Colombia to exercise caution and prioritize dialogue to avoid exacerbating the crisis. The Colombian Council on International Relations, or CORI, highlighted the importance of maintaining bilateral agreements and warned against commercial retaliation, emphasizing the potential harm to Colombia's economy. Maria Claudia Lacouture, head of the Colombo-American Chamber of Commerce, called for diplomacy to resolve the conflict, warning of devastating effects on Colombian industries if U.S. tariffs are implemented. As tensions escalate, both nations face mounting pressure to resolve the dispute through diplomatic channels. While the Trump administration remains steadfast in its immigration agenda, Colombia seeks to balance its economic interests with its stance on migration policies. Former President Donald Trump has reignited his interest in acquiring Greenland, expressing confidence that the United States will ultimately gain control of the autonomous Danish territory. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One on Saturday, Trump declared, "I think we're going to have it," adding that Greenland's 57,000 residents want to be with us. Trump's remarks follow reports of a contentious phone call last week with Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, during which she reiterated that Greenland is not for sale. Trump first floated the idea of purchasing the vast Arctic island during his first term in 2019, citing its strategic importance for international security. In his latest comments, Trump questioned Denmark's claim to Greenland, saying, "It would be a very unfriendly act if they didn't allow that to happen because it's for the protection of the free world." He emphasized Greenland's role in global freedom and asserted that only the US could ensure its security. Despite Trump's confidence, both Greenland's Prime Minister Mute Egede and Denmark's Prime Minister Frederiksen have rejected the notion of selling the island. Egede stated that Greenland's land use is a matter for Greenlanders alone, though he expressed a willingness to collaborate with the US on defense and mining. Frederiksen meanwhile insisted Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders, reaffirming that only the island's population could decide its future. A report in the described Trump's phone exchange with Frederiksen as horrendous, with European officials warning that the US president's interest in Greenland is serious and potentially very dangerous. Greenland, situated on the shortest route between North America and Europe, is of strategic importance to the US and hosts a major American space facility. The island is also rich in natural resources, including rare earth minerals, uranium, and iron, sparking heightened global interest in recent years. Though Greenland enjoys significant autonomy, it remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark. However, there is growing sentiment among Greenlanders for eventual independence, which could reshape its relationship with the US. Trump's claim that Greenlanders want to be with us has been met with skepticism on the island. A fishing boat captain in the Kapasilit settlement told the BBC that Trump was welcome to visit, but firmly stated, "Greenland belongs to Greenlanders." Church elder Kalirak Ringstead criticized Trump's remarks as not acceptable, emphasizing that the island is not for sale. Trump has not ruled out using military or economic pressure to pursue his goal. His comments have unsettled the Danish political establishment, prompting high-level emergency meetings in Copenhagen. The situation has also drawn attention to Greenland's potential trajectory toward independence, raising questions about future relations with both Denmark and the US as the island's strategic and economic significance continues to grow. Former US President Donald Trump suggested that Jordan and Egypt should take in Palestinians from Gaza, an idea met with strong opposition from Palestinian leaders, as well as Jordanian and Egyptian officials. Trump's proposal comes amid the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict, which has caused widespread devastation and a severe humanitarian crisis in Gaza, displacing nearly the entire population of 2.3 million people. Palestinian leaders, including members of Hamas, dismissed the proposal as unacceptable and accused Trump of attempting to further displace Palestinians. Bassem Naim, a Hamas official, condemned the suggestion, while Sami Abu Zuri emphasized that Gaza's residents would remain on their land regardless of external pressures. Western-backed Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas also rejected the idea, asserting that Palestinians would remain steadfast on their homeland. Jordan and Egypt categorically rejected the notion of relocating Palestinians. Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi reaffirmed the country's firm stance against any displacement of Palestinians. Similarly, Egypt's foreign ministry issued a statement rejecting both short- and long-term relocation proposals. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich expressed support for Trump's idea, calling it an excellent plan and suggesting it could pave the way for Palestinians to build better lives elsewhere. In contrast, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has not publicly embraced the proposal. Critics of the plan, including the United Nations Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese, denounced it as tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Rights groups and humanitarian organizations have raised alarms over the dire situation in Gaza, with many residents rejecting any proposals to leave their homeland. The conflict in Gaza escalated on October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel, killing approximately 1,200 people and taking hostages. Israel's subsequent military assault on Gaza has resulted in over 47,000 deaths, according to Gaza's health ministry. A fragile ceasefire is currently in place. Trump's proposal highlights long-standing tensions over Gaza's future and the broader challenges of addressing the humanitarian crisis while respecting Palestinian sovereignty and rights. The idea of forcibly displacing Palestinians has been widely criticized as illegal under international law and impractical in addressing the root causes of the conflict. If you found this video informative, please like and subscribe to our channel for more updates.